All right, so I had to make this video outside, and I want to just talk about, just the basis of like the spiritual, like one of the purposes of like the spiritual awakening, is because as you will hear or we hear a lot of people talk about like manifestation and blessings and abundance and all of those things, and so what sets like what sets the spiritual awakening aspect of it away from that is that you have to be there's work that needs to be done. And that's one of the things I've always said for years is that there's work to get full abundance because it's three folds, right? It's mentally, it's spiritually, and then it's physical. And so what sets it apart is that there's work that needs to be done. And that work consists of you, basically God introducing you to who you are and what you are. And so with that being said, that's one of the reasons why I had to make this video outside in nature, because not only does like that false ego has to be stripped, but you're also being introduced to you in the sense that what has to happen or the process consists of, all of those things that we've held on to, like all of those disbeliefs that we're not worthy, the guilt, the shame, the things that we felt or assumed that kept us from like being our true selves. They're not real. They're only illusion. And we have to address that, like we have to see those things for what they are. And so the process of all of that really is that being bold enough, being courageous enough to do that. And it is a process. It does truly consist of a process, because some of those things are going to be amazing. Some of those things is going to be eye-opening, and then some of those things are just going to be just pure, just fact. You know what I mean? So you'll be amazed that once you get to talking and once you get to like really looking at some of those things that's taking place, that we have to understand that not only do our past not define us, but a lot of those things that we have been defining ourselves on doesn't even belong to us. A lot of those paradigms, a lot of those beliefs that we've held on to and assumed or thought that it was ours is not only ours. So, many of those fears, many of those insecurities, more often than not, 9 out of 10 chances, was installed within us way before we were too young to even have a comprehension of it. But yet, we've held on to those things, believing that they were reality, believing that they are real. When you look at the generation, that's why they say generational curses, when it's not really a curse as it's your level of understanding, it's your level of consciousness. So if you fear success, if you fear abundance, if you fear health, if you fear, you draw on to whatever it is that you fear, because the universe doesn't know the difference. And so when we dove deep into those things and those beliefs that we've been holding on to, we'll come to realize that now it's the time to let go of those things, because they've been blocking us, they've been hindering us, they've been keeping us complacent, and they don't even belong to us. We're not the owners of those things. I'm going to say it again for the people in back. Many other things that we've been holding on to as truth, as the gospel truth, don't even belong to us. And so now is the time for us to release those things. Now it's time for us to let those things go and realize that it's time for us to live, and it's time for us to live how we were intended to live, essentially. And so we just have to have that willingness. We have to pray for that willingness to look at those things finally, so that we can rid ourselves of that, and so that we can live, and so that we can receive. It's kind of like a clogged artery. Is that can't anything pass through those channels if there's disbelief, if there's doubt, if there's insecurities, if there's hatred, if those things standing in the way. Can't nothing pass through and can't nothing come out. And so once we realize our true self and affirm that and affirm that and affirm that to ourselves, to the subconscious, that we'll realize that we're finally set free. And the more we talk, and the more that you talk, and the more that you get those things out, you will be amazed. You truly will be amazed. As I'm going through this transformation myself currently, as I'm making these videos, and I'm able to share it with you, you'll be amazed at the things that you've been holding on to that you're not even consciously on the surface aware that you're holding on to. And so that's the basis of creating simple lip. Is it's as simple as starting a conversation and you being able to see those things that you've held so closely, that's not even real. So I challenge you to not only face those things, but I challenge you to begin living.